It's Monday. Today's Mindfulness Monday is the way I think about it. And boy, I sure could use it today. So I'm really appreciating a few minutes coming our way here where we can together drop into just slowing things down and actually connecting with what is happening. And so reminder, we do this every day, Monday through Friday noon for 15 minutes, 12 to 12:15, and then I'll hang out for a few minutes afterwards. So, okay, so today, Mindfulness Monday. So the mechanism for practicing mindfulness is meditation. Just a quick primer, or I guess reminder of what it means to meditate. There's so many different, I think, ideas out there. For me, it's mainly this idea of just going to sit still, so not be engaged in other activities other than just sitting in my chair or sitting on the ground and just being still. And cultivating a capacity to observe myself and mainly my mind. So when we're sitting still, when we're not rushing around doing other things, really all we're left with is our mind, is the activity of our brain conjuring up images and stories. And usually those have to do with our brain's natural tendency to do what I call time traveling. So we're usually ruminating on the past, or we're fixating on the future and worried about what's going to happen. But we're frankly doing anything but just being right here, right now, in the present moment. And the reason we want to meditate and practice this is because this is a kind of superpower. When we're able to cultivate this skill, we can actually, when things get really busy, like they've been for me all morning, and I'm admittedly feeling a little bit discombobulated, and my mind is doing a lot of this time traveling right now. So I'm really looking forward to carving out an explicit chunk of time where together with you guys, I'm just going to say, okay, I'm just going to stop. I'm just going to notice. I'm not going to try to change where my mind is going. I can't really change what my brain thinks or feels or experiences any more than I can change the weather, or any more than I can change anything else that's beyond me. But I can take a step back and take a different, activate a different relationship to what's going on and simply try to notice what's happening. So, okay, so the theme for today is just to begin again. And I'll walk you through it as we do this. So we got probably about a good 8 to 10 minutes to do this. So I'm going to set the timer, and let's start by closing our eyes and dropping into the present moment, which involves simply sitting. I'm guessing we're all sitting in a chair of some sort. And maybe this is the first time that you're noticing that this chair is actually present. And notice for a second how supportive this chair is. I mean, it keeps you up off the ground. It supports your back. And see if you can allow your body to settle into the awareness that right now, in this moment, you don't need to hold yourself up. You have a chair that's doing so. And maybe put your feet flat on the ground. Put your hands palm down, face down on your lap. Relax your shoulders. And assume a posture of awareness, alertness, yet calmness. And today, instead of focusing on breath, I'm inviting you to notice other sensations. So maybe notice what you're hearing. Right now you can hear my voice. At the same time, I'm also hearing the hum of my computer. I can hear some steps, someone walking upstairs. Just bring your full attention to the sensation of hearing right here, right now. I happen to hear an airplane in the distance. When we focus on a sensation, sensory object like hearing, it's pretty easy to realize that this is just happening. Like, I'm not creating the sound of the airplane. I'm not creating the sounds of the footsteps. I'm not creating the sound of the computer. And yet these are things that I can become aware of. And I can become mindful that they're happening. And if you notice that while you're attempting to simply be aware of sounds, possibly other sensations, chances are good that your mind begins to wander. You'll have this moment, this experience of suddenly noticing that you haven't been paying attention to sound at all. You've actually sort of gone down the rabbit hole of a whole story or a narrative or a thought process. Again, it's totally normal. It's what the mind does. The cool thing is that when you notice that, there's an inflection point where you can say, oh my gosh, I just noticed that. I'm no longer just listening. Instead, I got wrapped up in thinking. So you get to start over. You get to bring yourself back to this present moment. You get to say, okay, I'm going to begin again. I'm just going to begin focusing on sounds. There are two things going on here that we are training or activating by doing this practice. The first one is simply noticing when our mind has wandered. So that in and of itself is a kind of superpower. So it could be in a conversation with someone, and then we suddenly realize that, oh my gosh, I've been daydreaming, or I've been completely hijacked by these thoughts or these ideas about what this person is saying, and I really haven't been present or listening to them. So that's superpower number one, is just noticing when that happens. And superpower number two is to intentionally choose to come back to the present moment and say, oh, right, my goal is to really listen, is to really be present for what's actually happening right here, right now. And that's where, for me, this mantra of just begin again, I get to start over, becomes useful, because any given moment that we have, truth is we get to start over. So it doesn't matter how poorly we've been listening or how poorly we've been paying attention. Right here, right now, I get to choose and say, okay, it starts now. So let me try it again. Let me bring my attention back once more, and I'm beginning now to be present, to be open, to pay attention to sounds and sensations. Simply notice them. This ability to remember that I get to begin again right here, right now. And it's a superpower. It's a sense of freedom. So no matter how difficult or confusing or fill in the blank your morning has been, or all the moments leading up to this very moment right here, right now, we always have the ability to exercise this choice of saying, okay, that was then, but from here on out, right here, right now, I want to begin again by being aware and open and in contact with reality as it is in this moment. Part of that has to do with presencing yourself physically. So again, notice that you're sitting in a chair. Maybe your feet are flat on the ground, your palms are in the lap, contact with your thighs, hear my voice. So intentionally take a deep breath in and really feel it, how in this moment your lungs are expanding, and then go ahead and exhale. This is what's happening right here, right now. Take another deep breath in. And on this exhale, go ahead, open your eyes. Look at your screen. Look at the eyes of this little guy who just made a huge mess with his Lego set or whatever's behind him. I know that scene very well. And just remember, we get to begin again in any given moment. So may that be an inspiration or a rallying cry for the day. Whenever you're feeling frustrated or overwhelmed, just close your eyes, put your hand on your chest and say, okay, I get to start over right here, right now. It starts now. So begin again. All right, I hope this was useful. I'll stick around for a few more minutes to chat if anyone wants to. Otherwise, I'll plan on seeing you tomorrow at noon, same place, same time. Hope you're all doing well. Take care.